Hello, good morning everyone. Today in my video, I started a new topic to talk about the drawing materials I'm quite familiar with that I have been used for many years. This one is the first one. As you can see here, I have two packs of these materials. It's the Pastel and the brand which is called Matisse Pastel. These two I bought from many years ago since I was in Singapore. Actually, this one is the first partner I have. It's more earlier than I have the Masters. I remember this one I bought from Guangzhou in a very small shop which is just next to the art college. This is the first materials I have. Actually, I relocate all these pastel I have. I combine three of them. This one is, they are more roughly than the brand Marius. And so the Marius feel more smooth. The first time I have these materials, I do the text like this. So this is what I did very long time ago. Try to mix different colors together, put some warm and cold color, mix them, right? One, and then put another one, and then use the finger to mash them. That's how the color reacts. We have the different textures and we have the results that we may satisfy with. This is good for create the atmosphere, like drawing something in the gas or in the air. Okay, that's a very funny way. And as you can see here, the texture which is more roughly, which just come from this brand, a very local, old, traditional brand. In these two kind of pastel, I won't care which brand it is. I will decide the pictures I'm going to create, whether it's large scales of the pictures or the details. So it depends what I'm drawing. This is the way I reorganize all the colors I have. Today I'll fret this text before. They help me to remind in my normal practice. I also will come back to the beginning of this sketchbook to feel this is the textures may create by this kind of color, because when you're using these colors, these materials in different papers, or even you are using your finger, like now my fingers a little bit wet here. So if you are using the wet finger to wrap them, to mix them together, it feels a little bit different from which when your finger is dry. And even more, sometimes I will use a piece of tissue to create the different results. So that's also different, also funny. That's more softened. It has been passed for so many years. The colors are so vivid. I didn't put the painting fixative, so it's still in a very roughly phase. If you touch it, it will lose. Definitely, when the time goes by, it will become lighter and lighter because it keep dropping these materials. They may cling to each other. And here is what I did a lot of the base here. I make the base first, and then I use a knife. I use a knife or sometimes different kind of tools like this one to squash down some colors to make it spread on the surface. Push it. Try another one. So it has a very good contrast. Press it, add some water, like this. So it has some different change reactions. So it's good to create something like in a grassland, some forest. It's good to create the scenery of snowy weather or windy weather. Except this interesting material text, I started to create the pictures. This is the very first page. I thought it's a very simple one. This purpose page is for me to text. So this kind of material is how to use to create a very wide space, color shapes, long shape material, so it's easy to spread widely and very quickly to do the color base. When you are picking a very dark color like the dark blue, it's not easy to add some more details like in the same series colors. You have to focus very details so you can notice the different blue when mixed it together. But if you look in a further way, it's not really obvious when you want to express some details. Next page, this one is when I have done in my college time, I think so. So this is the tree in my college. It's one of them those grew in the playground, and I did use the skills I did in the color text. This, so I like creating the lights came through the tree leaves and then spread out like some gold spots all the way down to the floor. Look very bright, shining, because I bring this sketchbook everywhere, so it can't be avoided that the very bright yellow to mix with the very dark tree body. The lights become beware. But this is the change. This is the interesting change about these materials. It definitely can't be avoided because this is the magical changeable from this material. I think it has the magic power, and you have to consider about the time. You have to consider this kind of material. When you bring it everywhere, it will be rub each other, it will be move each other and mix each other, and some change it would definitely happens. When you come back to these pictures many years later, it has changed something. You can remember the first time you have enjoyed like painting this picture, and then when you come back to these memories, oh, it really changed something. It's kind of interesting way to experience. This is the second period. I really addicted to these materials, so I have started to add my imaginations. This is the scenery. I have a reference from the very wonderful landscape picture, but this is kind of the simple came out from my mind. I want to express something about the drink. And then this one is about I'm enjoying one of my friends. She went to the northwest part of China to create a library. This is the tree. It's a very typical tree from the local area, and I watched image. This one was her, and she bring a lot of the books rushing to those area, and like a kind of bring roll this kind of construction about the knowledge into the local people, into the local children especially. This is the moment I sketched. So I was planning to do the second piece of this story. This is the second piece of this idea. So she is like busy in creating the library by doing all the things by her own, like booking the books, handling all the documents, handling with all the people she never cooperate before. She's messy, but everything is on the way. This is the one we ate for the autumn festival, where the local symbol here, very old tower, the moon here, the flowers grow here, very famous here. And then this is my favorite series created by this materials. It's called The Bird in the Storms, and this is actually based on the sceneries from the northwest part of China. There's famous for the forest, and it was in the winter season. It is a bird lying on the floor, spreading her white feather. It's the imagination about the snow, thinking about some philosophy ideas. This is the second piece. During the winter time, I thought cold day, expecting a very warm and comfortable zone for myself. Come back to the forest again. I was imagining this is the water circle progress. The water was from the lake and it was pumped by the power of the mountain. The nature poured out the water up to the mountain, through the mountain, and then started to become the weapon through the tree. I imagine the tree as these factories which can create the clouds into the sky. This progress changed the water into the cloud, and they crowded together, and then the moment when it's together enough, it will be come down again as the rain into the lakes, change back into the water again. I also did this progress as an animation in my channel. If you are interested, you can flag back to the single video I did before. I also will put a link in the description if you are interested. I have added some features here, some lights here, make this idea more obvious and easy to understand what I'm trying to say about. So it cost me a lot of time to show this idea through the animation design, but it's interesting. I have this kind of idea and I can create it into the visual picture to show up. Then this one is about the imagination of the crowd I met someday when I was passing the field. It seems like it had a very wonderful animal paradise on the sky. Also another one about the imagination from the crowd. This is, I'm trying to create a dragon which is having a very good nap at the noontime. Someone was passing through, being afraid to disturb him. She is another very naughty small dragon trying to play some tricks on him. This kind of texture, I use the pastel to do the very soft background, and then use the finger to spread out, and use the color pencil to did the details of the body. And this is another piece I want to express, to love each other, to express something that you are the other part of mine. First, you can see there are only two colors on this paper. One is yellow and one is blue. They combine each other to become this picture, and these two characters, they hunt each other, so they have each other in a very close relationships. They were all very satisfied, very comfortable with this moment. This is the very dedicated or subtle moment that I want to express. Lovers being each other's, the other half in their life, on each other, support each other, share the life, share the love with each other. This, I use this pastel to create the details. What is different from those before, I use them to create the details more like before, like doing the base. So it's also very good to dig the details. I'm drawing something about Berlin I met before. This is the train. It's a very old train building, and I also did this one into the animation as well. This whole building, these two towers can be stand up and then like dancing. And this is another one I also draw about Berlin, the war, the Berlin wars. It's kind of express the war is a very depressed thing to the humans. It's a very large disaster to the humans. Good pictures here. It looks very sad, very depressed. This one is about the concern also in Berlin. And this is the one I did just recently. On this page, I'm not only using the pastel, but also using the watercolor to finish the other part of the picture. I need something feel more stable to have a contrast in this picture. Face here, the hair here, flowers here, all is very loose, but I want the light to be confirmed about this picture. Another sketchbook on this one is I did 2 years ago about the Christmas day. This boy passes the forest through the storms and then find the girls here, the lover. These materials good to create a lot of details, amazing details like the yellow and with a very amazing blue here, they mix together can create an atmosphere about a very wonderful texture, has a very fantastic result to show, and we have a very fantastic feelings about this Christmas theme. This one is the picture I quite satisfied with. I did this one between the gate when I'm finishing this music score. Let me explain this work for the next time. I'm planning to do a series of new videos to introduce some of my picture book illustration and illustration stories. These following pages were also my try for these materials. I tried them to combine with watercolor with other kinds of materials, and the best result by creating the guest atmosphere. And I also try to use the pastel before the watercolor dry and after the watercolor dry. That also has different results. Yeah, so that's it. In today's drawing, I want to try a new idea. I wish to capture great attention by the exhibitions about Henry Matisse in Beijing this year, but unfortunately I don't have the chance to go to Beijing join the live exhibitions in this moment. But I go to know something about this great artist, which are very far away from me, but he's a very great artist, and he's using about the color and shapes really leave a great treasure for our human cultures. So today I'm trying to use the new idea to recreate these famous pictures as a reference, think more details what I can learn from this picture, and express my idea using my own character, using my own painting experience, drawing experience. What I'm going to use the first character in this picture is I will reuse this character again, and also using my sketchbook imagination as my creation resources. This is the main character. I want to put this picture, I want to put in these ideas. Let's see. And also using the pastel. And the other characters I will find from these inspirations resources. I have an IP I create before, so I'll reuse it like this man. Second one, maybe I will add some little animals. The third character I maybe use will be this one. Fourth one will be this one. I still need another one as the last character. Let's try to make this one in this sketchbook. Hi, here comes my voice again, and so as you can see, I am using the chunk to create the sketch of the characters according to Matisse's original art piece. I'm trying to catch the simple gestures from those people who dancing together, and I also made some changes according to the character I designed by my own. Also maintain the specific characteristics I designed for each of them, and I started to fill in the color with the pastel. I drew the skin first to set the tone of this picture, and in the background, the top part of the background will be the blue color, and then the under will be the green glass. So the people who were dancing think the main tone of the color is orange. I've decided to make the skin color as normal, and then trying to add some orange to make it approach to the orange tone as much as I can. and I use a little bit light blue to spread the background first, and then different kind of green to create the grassland. Add another kind of blue, try to make the background has more color layers. And the grassland I also want to have some change, so I use different kind of green to create at the left corner, which may be the visual focus and this piece of the land. Now you can see I'm using the color pencil to add more details. Although the clothes of this girl, the main color will be the pink, I still trying to add some orange to make it near the basic tone that I set for this picture. Also the skin here, I use different kind of orange to make the skin look more natural. And I also use the pumpkin orange to emphasize the shapes of all the characters. So during this drawing progress, I still back to my original inspiration sketchbook to make sure I did the color according to the basic design before. As you can see, I also did some of the change so it can fix to this new creation. And in this boy at the left corner, I didn't use a very dark blue color as the original one in my inspiration sketchbook because in this new picture the background is already a darker blue that I used in this boy's clothes before. To avoid it mix all together, I choose a little bit dark blue to fill in the color of the clothes, and then I also use the orange to make the tone as the same as the others. And then I use the cotton stick to wrap the background in a very detailed way. That is a good way to make all the color, all the different kind of blue to mix in a very well layer, and also create the texture feel very novel and natural. I feel much better after I use this cotton stick to draw again in this surface, not only the blue background but also the green grassland background. So this is the picture in this summertime. I paid my respects to the great artists we have in our human history. Matisse, he gives so much great artist treasure in our long history, leaving a lot of wonderful good feelings to the people who have the chance to meet his art. And really thanks to the time that we have this kind of great art to share with each other. I have learned from this original great art piece and then create my own picture. I use the characters and create by myself. This monster is from here. This girl has been developed from this portrait, and then I also have the whole figure design from this piece, and then the pig at the corner here comes from here. Then the fourth one from this one, but to be honestly, I didn't make a very obvious creation in this piece because I have done this as a digital version before for creating the whole body, which is here, which is this one. Just a very simple sketch. And the last character is from here. The boy, the original inspiration from the water spot from Oneul. So that's all for this picture, and thank you for watching this video, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye!